In an unexpected move that has taken many pensioners by surprise, the Department for Work and Pensions, DWP, has recently implemented a significant policy change that could dramatically affect the lives of elderly individuals across the country. This shift concerns the long-standing attendance allowance, a benefit that has served as a vital lifeline for older people who, despite facing physical or mental challenges, have managed to maintain some degree of independence. However, with the DWP's decision to use 13 specific postcodes as testing grounds, the future of this support system is now in flux, leaving many pensioners uncertain about what to expect. For years, attendance allowance has provided much-needed financial help to older citizens who rely on it for various aspects of their daily lives. From hiring assistants to covering transportation costs for medical appointments, this non-means-tested benefit, available to individuals who require additional help due to physical or mental health conditions, has played an essential role in ensuring that elderly people can continue to live with dignity and independence. Starting from February 13, 2025, however, the DWP is trialing a new system within these 13 postcode areas that could mark the beginning of a nationwide overhaul of how the government supports elderly individuals with care needs. The announcement of this change was relatively quiet, tucked away in official government documents with little public discussion or engagement. Yet the implications of this new policy are anything but insignificant. The shift is poised to shake up the entire support system for vulnerable citizens, particularly pensioners who have spent decades contributing to the country's economy through taxes, labor, and service. Now, many are left questioning what this new policy shift will mean for them, and whether the government will still honor its commitment to those who have worked hard for years to contribute to society. The 13 targeted postcodes selected for this initial trial have become the center of intense concern for those living within them. For these individuals, attendance allowance is not just an abstract sum of money appearing on a bank statement. It represents the cleaner who visits once a week, the taxi fare that makes trips to the hospital possible, and the difference between living comfortably or struggling through daily tasks. The sudden prospect of having this crucial support either reduced, changed, or possibly cut altogether is a heavy emotional burden. Seniors living in these affected areas are now scrambling to understand the finer details of the new policy, wondering whether they will have to reapply under new and possibly stricter rules. Particular worry for many is whether those with fluctuating conditions, such as dementia or severe arthritis, will still qualify under the new criteria. For individuals with non-visible disabilities, the fear of automatic disqualification is a pressing concern. The government, however, insists that this change isn't designed to reduce support. According to the DWP, the goal of this reform is to test a new, more efficient system of delivering assistance to those who need it most. They argue that by integrating attendance allowance into a more streamlined system, duplication can be reduced and processes can be modernized. Yet many critics are skeptical. They argue that this is simply a cost-cutting measure disguised as a reform. The recent history of government-led reforms, such as the rollout of universal credit, has left many wary. Past programs have been plagued with delays, errors, and widespread confusion, and there is concern that this trial will follow a similar pattern. For advocacy groups representing pensioners and individuals with disabilities, the fear is that these changes are less about providing more effective support and more about reducing government spending. Attendance allowance, unlike many other benefits, is not means-tested, meaning anyone who meets the criteria can receive it regardless of their income. If the DWP merges this benefit with others that are more strictly means-tested, it could leave thousands or even millions of elderly individuals without the support they desperately need. Another area of concern is the lack of transparency surrounding the selection of the 13 postcodes. While the DWP claims these areas were chosen because they represent a mix of urban and rural communities, many people are questioning whether this was simply a convenient choice, given that these areas may have been used in past pilot programs. There is a growing suspicion that the government has chosen regions with lower media visibility in order to avoid the scrutiny that a nationwide rollout would attract. Regardless of the reason, those living in these 13 postcodes are now the guinea pigs in a nationwide experiment that could affect millions in the future. The timing of this change could hardly be worse. February is already a particularly challenging month for many pensioners. The cold weather takes its toll, and many struggle to keep their homes warm due to rising energy costs. Adding to the burden, icy roads and canceled bus services make traveling for medical appointments difficult. Now, with the uncertainty surrounding attendance allowance, many elderly individuals are left with even more anxiety. In this context, receiving vague letters from the DWP, filled with confusing jargon and being told to wait for more information, only adds to the sense of unease. Family members and caregivers are also feeling the pressure. Many rely on attendance allowance to help cover the costs of caregiving, to purchase purchase mobility aids or to arrange transportation. Without clarity on whether these payments will continue, these individuals are now having to make difficult decisions. Some are canceling appointments, putting off home repairs, or even cutting back on essential services. This uncertainty has a real impact on their well-being, both mentally and financially. What is perhaps most frustrating for those affected by this change is the lack of communication from the government. Aside from a few lines buried in press releases, there has been little effort to engage directly with the public about what is happening. There have been no televised addresses, no dedicated helplines, and no clear guidance from those in power. It seems as though the government hopes the issue will fade into the background without drawing too much attention. However, the voices of those affected are growing louder. From community centers to social media platforms, the backlash is beginning to gain momentum. People are demanding answers. For many, the core issue is fairness. After a lifetime of hard work and contributions to the country, elderly citizens want to know that they will not be abandoned in their time of need. They want to feel that the government values them, rather than treating them as disposable numbers on a spreadsheet. The current system, despite its flaws, provides a crucial safety net. Any attempt to change it must be handled with sensitivity, transparency, and respect. As the situation unfolds, rumors continue to swirl about the future of attendance allowance. Some suggest that this trial is just the first step toward merging the benefit with other, more restrictive systems like personal independence payments, PIP. Others worry that it will be incorporated into means-tested benefits, forcing pensioners to undergo intrusive financial assessments. While the DWP denies these claims, the lack of clarity and the rushed timeline only serve to heighten suspicions. What can pensioners in the affected areas do now? The first step is to remain calm and stay informed. Keep track of any communications from the DWP and do not hesitate to reach out to local MPs or organizations like Age UK for support if necessary. Be prepared to challenge any changes that appear unjust or lack clear explanation. Beyond the practical steps, this situation serves as a reminder of the values that should guide our treatment of the elderly. These changes are not just bureaucratic adjustments. They are a test of how we as a society treat our most vulnerable members. Will we rise to the occasion, ensuring fairness and compassion, or will we allow the elderly to slip through the cracks? Ultimately, the decisions made today will have far-reaching consequences. Let us hope that fairness, decency, and justice prevail, and that we continue to honor the contributions of our elderly population. If you found this video informative, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more updates on this critical issue. Thank you for watching.